This is literally how I'm starting a ball review. Cheers. Welcome back, Bowling World fans. Today we are going to be drilling the new Melee Jab Carbon. Now, this bowling ball just came out last week, and I want to give you guys a little bit of info as to how I laid out mine and what exactly I see out of this bowling ball and what the numbers truly say of this bowling ball. So we're going to go ahead and get it over onto the workbench and get it laid out. I think the layout that we went with on this one was 60 by 5 by 70. So we're going to go ahead, get it on the workbench, get it laid out, get it drilled up, talk a little bit about the specs, and then get it over onto the lanes for you guys. So let's get right into it. Now look, I immediately realized that I messed up. It's actually 60 by 4.5 by 70 for the layout on this bowling ball. This is my new benchmark layout for my symmetrical pieces, and honestly, it's actually matched up to the Melee Jab core really well, and I absolutely love it. We went ahead and drilled this up with our vacuum inserts as always. If you didn't know what that is, it's a 1 1/32 top hole with a 31 32 bottom hole, basically creating a gap between the top and bottom hole to let the vacuum effect happen to the inserts. And we took this over to the workbench, we sanded out those holes, and we glued in our Vice PO black inserts. If you want to get those today, make sure you guys go down into the link in the description, head on over to bowlingworld.biz and get yours today. But we went ahead, got this all prepped up, and we will talk a little bit about the specs of this bowling ball before we get it over onto the lanes and give you guys a quick look as to what exactly this ball features. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the specs of this bowling ball before we get it over onto the lanes and get to throwing it. To start off with, we have the core, which is the original Melee core. That has an RG of 2.487 and a differential of 0.050. And then that is wrapped around with the AXH Pearl Reactive Resin cover stock, which is finished off at 500, 1000, and 1500 grit Sire with the Sire micropads, obviously, and that has a layer of Crown Factory compound over the top of it. So we have that nice shiny cover to the ball, but don't let that actually shy you away. Whenever I got to throwing this ball, it definitely sees the lane a lot stronger overall than my Midnight Blue or my Melee Jab Blood Red. This ball is definitely a little bit earlier overall and sees the lane a little bit more overall than my Midnight Blue and my Blood Red. So let's go ahead, get it onto the lanes, talk a little bit about what exactly I saw with the Melee Jab Carbon. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about what I saw out of this bowling ball on the lanes. Now, this ball definitely sees the friction really aggressively. So you will want to make sure that you're playing a little bit more steep angles to be able to get this ball to float through the middle part of the lane in the soup of the lane, or the middle part of the volume when it comes down to it, because this ball does see the lane a little bit earlier overall and still comes around the corner really well. It is a really fast motion off the back end, but it still wants to see the friction sooner and closer to you because of the fact of the core matched up with a certain strength of the actual cover stock. So keep that in mind whenever you're throwing this ball, that you will want to play around with it whenever they're a little bit more broken down, but you want to try to keep it in the middle where the most of the volume is at. Now, this ball is absolutely phenomenal. It's clean through the front, it's clean through the middle part of the lane, it sees it off the friction really angrily. So if you needed something like that in your bag, this is definitely the ball that I would recommend. I see myself taking this to a couple of the longer patterns whenever I don't see urethane in play, or after urethane is thrown on those longer patterns, because as a lefty, we're still gonna throw that purple hammer, but we also wanna make sure we give ourselves the option of having something a little bit cleaner through the front and middle part of the lane that's gonna angle a little bit down the lane. That way we can get the reaction we need after all the urethane is thrown. But we're gonna go ahead and let you guys watch the rest of these shots. I have a couple slow-mo shots, a couple shots from all over the place, okay? So I'm gonna let you guys finish watching the rest of these shots, and we'll talk here in a little bit. Alright guys, so that was the Melee Jab Carbon. Now, if you wanted to get this ball for yourself, make sure you guys go over to bowlingworld.biz right here. And as always, make sure you guys hit that like, subscribe button, and turn on those post notifications. We have a bunch of different videos coming up here soon, and I will see you guys in the next one. If you guys had any questions, drop them down in the comment section below. I will talk to you later. Peace out. Talk to you soon.